could join me today. Today we're going to make a little treat called peanut butter and jelly muffins. Well, I use jam because I like jam better than jelly, but you can use jelly if you like. We're only going to do 6 because these little muffins are quite rich, and if you like them and you have a big crowd to feed, you can double the recipe, and if you just have yourself to feed, 6 are going to be quite adequate. So I'm just going to give you half a recipe today. So in this sifter, I have my gluten-free with xanthan gum flour, and there's 1 cup here. I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1.5 tablespoons of sugar, 1 egg, 1/4 cup of peanut butter, 1/2 cup of milk, and my jam, which is peach, which I like best. So first we're going to take this and sift it. So I'm going to add my 2 teaspoons of baking powder to the flour mix, and I'm going to add my 1.5 tablespoons of white sugar. And I'm going to sift those together in this bowl with my handy sifter that I always use. Now that I've got that done, I'm going to set those off to one side. And that's all we're going to do with the flour for the minute, so I'm going to set this over here. I'm going to take my 1/4 cup of peanut butter, and I'm going to add my egg to it. So we're going to take that, and I've got my little trusty wooden spoon here, and I'm going to beat this egg and peanut butter together until it becomes one item. You'll look at it and you'll see egg, peanut butter, egg, peanut butter, egg, peanut butter, and then all of a sudden it'll just look like peanut butter again. And that's when you know you've got it done properly. These muffins are not difficult to make. They're quite inexpensive, and they're very tasty. They can be a breakfast item. You can take them to work in your lunch, and you'll have your person at the next desk, as long as they're not allergic to peanuts, they'll be wanting to sample them, and they won't care that they're gluten-free because they'll taste just delicious. So there, you can see my peanut butter now is starting to look like peanut butter again. The egg's all been mixed in, so that's what it looks like. Alright, at this point I'm going to take my handy scraper, my spatula, and my whisk. I'm going to clean my wooden spoon off for the moment. I'm going to stick my wooden spoon into my flour, and I'm going to add the milk. And you put the milk in there, and this is kind of sloppy. Quite likely I'll spill it all over the tabletop because I often do that by using the small bowl instead of the big one. And again, you have to stir it until it all becomes incorporated and looks like one item. So it'll look like a milky peanut butter mix, kind of like a peanut butter milkshake. There. When we get this done, then all we do next is fold it into our dry ingredients. And then comes the magic of the muffin cups. And it's easy as well. There. Now, as you can see, that looks like a peanut butter milkshake. So I'm going to move this over here out of the way. For now, put that there, hopefully I won't throw it on the floor. And I'm going to take this liquid mixture and pour it into the dry mixture and fold it around. Now, you don't want to overmix this, but you do want it to be mixed well enough that you don't see little bits and lumps of flour mixture. It'll be quite thick. It'll be more like a cake batter than a muffin batter. Muffin batters tend to be a little loose. This is going to be a little thick, like a cake batter. There. And that's all we're going to do with that. Now I'll get my muffin tin, and we'll do the next step. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put half the muffin mixture, only half, into these 6 muffin cups. So I just take a tablespoon and I put it in there. Like I said, it'll be kind of thick, but you don't want more than half in the cup. Oops, that one's magic, it's sticking to the spoon. And they'll fall all over the place and make a mess. If you're anything like me, as I've told you before, I'm not a fancy baker, I'm a tasty baker. I'm only concerned with the tasting good. I don't really, I'd like it to be pretty, but if it isn't pretty, it's not the end of the earth for me. But if it doesn't taste well, right into the garbage. Alright, so that's about half the batter now. I'm going to put just a smidge more in this cup. Okay, now the next part's easy. You just take a glass of water and a spoon, And you just dip your spoon in there, and you make a little indentation in the middle of your muffin. Into your dough, I should say. And I just keep dipping the spoon in there. There we go. Get my fat fingers out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. And that little hole is where you're going to set the jam before you put the top of the muffin on, so that it doesn't leak out the sides. Sometimes it does, but if it does, don't worry about it. That's why we use the muffin papers. There. Now that's all we need to do. Now I'm going to take that little cup of water out of there so I don't spill it. Move it over there. And I'm going to use the same spoon I just used for the water. And I'm going to put a spoonful of jam in the middle of each one of these little muffin cups. So just put it in the center. And like I said, if you like raspberry, strawberry, blueberry, whatever you want to put in there. I like peach and apricot the best, so that's why I'm using peach. You can use a homemade jam if you like as well. And that's all there is to that. I'll maybe put a little more in that one because that one looks a little... This one too. See, I like the jam better than the muffin. Alright, now you take the rest of this muffin dough and you put it on top of each one of these muffins. And that's all that's left to do this. And when it's finished, we're going to put this in a 350-degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes. It'll make the tops all nice and crusty looking, and it'll be tasty. Your kitchen will smell like peanut butter cookies are being baked, but that won't be the case at all. Just make sure that you get that all down inside the muffin cup. There we go. Put the next one on, and the last one. There we go. And this is an easy recipe. You can do it, like I said, if you want to double it up, you can double it up and make 12 muffins. If you've got a crowd to feed, if it's just yourself, probably 6 will do you, and you can bake another 6 in a few, couple of days or whenever the mood strikes you again. Well, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you will check out the recipe in the video description below and enjoy these muffins. I think you'll really like them.